Hello lovely people, my name is Emma and today I'm bringing you a very loose, rough idea of an October TBR. So it's a little bit early to be filming this. I still have a week left in September, but I just wanted to share with you what I'm currently reading right now and then some vague reading plans for October. I'm going really not very strict with this TBR because I've just done 2 readathons, like month-long readathons back to back, and I am tired. Like, I am really kind of tired of like confining my reading and like making it fit prompts, and to be honest I've kind of checked out a monster-a-thon like halfway through, and I know that Non-Fiction November is coming up and I really want to do well in that one. So even though there are a ton of readathons in October that are all spooky themed and they all look really exciting and interesting, I'm consciously avoiding all of them and I'm just gonna let my mood reader flag fly. But there are some things that have been catching my eye on my bookshelves and I really enjoy filming TBRs, so I still wanted to do this loose video for you so you get an idea of what you might be expecting on my channel in the next month. Some of these will potentially fit in with like Spookathon or potentially Victober, so there have been a few that have been like vaguely informing my reading, but I'm not actually explicitly doing a readathon in October. So let's talk about what I'm currently reading right now. Currently I have 2 non-fiction books on the go. I have Stiff by Mary Roach. This is a book about human cadavers. It's amazing. I read her other book Grunt last month and really enjoyed it, so immediately picked this one up. Really enjoying it. I foresee I will probably get it finished before the end of September because I do still have a week left, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning it. If I do, you'll obviously see it in my wrap up. If not, it'll be in October's wrap up. Nice and simple. Same thing for the next book. It's Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. This has appeared on so many TBRs of mine in the past. This was a book that I started 2 years ago, got just over halfway through, and then put down for slightly too long and then couldn't pick back up because I'd kind of lost where we were in it. I've now actually started the audiobook and I'm like a solid 40% in. I'm nearly reaching the point that I was at when reading the physical copy. I've still actually got the page folded in here. You probably can't see that, but whatever. Absolutely loving it. I loved it beforehand anyway, so I'm not really surprised, but I do really enjoy the audiobook, so I probably can get the audiobook finished before the end of September. I think I've got about 9 hours left on it. But again, I wanted to mention it because obviously if I don't get a chance to finish it, I'll finish it easily within the first week of October. So those are the 2 that I'm currently reading right now, and I'm just going to talk about some options that I have. I've broken them into different categories. I've got like my potential classics options, my potential standard fiction options, and my potential non-fiction options, and I think I'll probably end up reading like 1 or 2 from each category. It's sort of my vague plan, leaving plenty of room for mood reading. Oh no, there's another option, isn't there? Sorry, I have a historical fiction option because I'm in a super historical fiction mood at the moment, so that deserved its own separate category. So let's talk about that one first actually. I might read The Confessions of Franny Langton. Carly from A Bell's Books, sorry, motorbike. Carly from A Bell's Books talked about buddy reading this with me potentially. We buddy read The Tenant of Wildfell Hall this month, which, spoiler alert, I absolutely loved, so potentially going to go for this one if she's up for a buddy read, but maybe not, so that's fine. Then I also have Minette Walters' The Last Hours. This is set in basically the time when the Black Death or the Plague was happening, and it's almost like a close quarters thriller, like confined space sort of mystery, but with the Black Death because they all get kind of put into isolation. And then my last one is The Toy Makers by Robert Dinsdale. This is the Great War, that's World War One, I'm pretty sure. So this is set in the time of World War One, but it's about a toy shop in London. So some different kind of styles of historical fiction there, but I always love autumn for historical fiction. I think it just makes it feel so cozy. So now let's go on to talk about my normal fiction options. So again, potential slight spoiler alert for my September wrap up, but I haven't actually got to The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden, and I really don't think I'm going to in September, so it's kind of drifting over into my October TBR. My problem with this book is basically book 1 and book 2 I binge read in one day, like each separately, and really enjoyed that experience of binge reading it. So I kind of want to do the same thing with this book because I think it's going to like be a really good way of experiencing the trilogy as a whole, is to have binge read each book separately. However, that requires me to have like an entire day to sit down and binge read this like consciously, and I just haven't had that yet. Like, I could have taken it on holiday with me, but it was super warm and sunny where we were, and this is set in like medieval Russia in winter, so bit of a kind of conflicting environment, and basically I just need a full day to sit and blitz this. I'm thinking Dewey's 24-hour readathon is in October, so I might take part in that one, and if so, this will be the book I tackle, which would be really nice and fitting because the second book in the series I read last year in Dewey's, so I think it's kind of fitting. I don't know if I'm working it though, and if so, I might even just like use a day's holiday and book it off, so potentially going to happen, but if I don't get a full day to read it, I'm not going to read it, basically. Then I'm thinking about picking up The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. This is a high fantasy. It's fairly major. It's the start of a series. I've been umming and ahhing about it for ages. It's appeared on a bunch of different TBRs. It may not be the time that I get around to it this time around, but I could be keen. It's your very like classic high fantasy. There's gods, there's bandits, there's kings, there's politics, there's probably magic in here. I think it's Native American Indian inspired, don't quote me on that, but it's supposed to be really good, so it's just about kind of getting around to it. And then the final like fiction-y book that I'm kind of thinking about reading is Deep Storm by Lincoln Child. This looks absurd. This is like a formal Navy doctor goes out to an oil rig where they think that they might have found evidence of Atlantis. Like, it just sounds so stupid, but so much fun with it, and it might just be the exact kind of thing that I need in October. Like, I think it's going to be ridiculous, but amazing. So yeah, I can't wait for this one. But then I've got a bunch of different potential kind of classics options. They're sort of slightly broken down into like things that would fit into Thrillerathon with with Spookathon with thrillers, and things that would fit into Victober. I'm thinking about picking up potentially another Sherlock Holmes. If so, it's probably going to be The Sign of 4 because the covers are cooler than the other one, or potentially a spy book, and in which case I've got The Man Who Is Thursday by G.K. Chesterton on my shelf, and this looks really exciting and interesting and very spy espionage. I do have The 39 Steps somewhere as well, and that could also fit into this category, but I'm keener for either of these two. And then Victober, like I said, is happening for all of October. This is where you read books from the Victorian era. I'm not officially taking part because I'm definitely not going to meet all the prompts. I don't really want to dedicate that amount of time to classics in my reading, and some of the books that I'm keen to do for it maybe are going to be too big and will drift over into non-fiction November, and it's all going to get very complicated. But I do have some classics options, and I'll probably pick up one of them. So I might go for A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. Haven't decided yet. I might go for Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Brandon. I slurred that completely. Ah well. This is like a scandal fiction, and somebody commented on one of my most recent videos where I did a haul which featured this book that they absolutely love this and they think I'd really enjoy it, and I can't remember who commented it, I'm really sorry, but this looks kind of cool. And I just finished the Tenant Wildfire haul, which is kind of a bit of a scandal fiction, sort of. I think I don't really know the subgenres of classics in different time periods very well yet. It's a whole new world, learning all the terminology, but I'm really kind of keen to get to this one. And it's not technically Victorian because I think it was published like 7 or 8 years after the death of Queen Victoria, but it's close enough that I think it really kind of counts, and that's The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. This one, Olive from a Book Olive absolutely raves about. I value her opinion very highly when it comes to books, and again I think it's like a shocking tale of women as well, so it's that very fitting in with Lady Audley's Secret. So one of those classics. And now very quickly before my battery dies, I have some non-fiction that I might be reading. I picked up Sea Shaken Houses, was a book on lighthouses. I think it's going to be perfect for the winter season, so either this month or in non-fiction November. I've got Never Enough by Judith Grisel. This was actually a birthday present from my brother all the way back in March. It's about addiction, and I did start skimming through it when I first got it, and I really want to continue reading it because it's amazing and really interesting. And then on audiobook I have How the World Thinks by Julian Baggini. I think this might be the one that I go on to next after I finish Sapiens. This is about like a global history of philosophy, which, as many people know on my channel, I have an undergraduate degree in and I find fascinating, so it'd be really lovely to jump back in. Hopefully my camera caught all of that. Its battery is dying, so that might be my October TBR, or it might be a bunch of completely different things, because yay for mood reading. Have a wonderful reading week, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye.